The Bully Bombs for the WNBA and NBA Finals MVP edition of the Bottom Line Bombs, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 100 times your entry with the Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. Sign up with Bombs to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. Also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks for Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And now we will get this thing going today, right now, currently, by hitting a button. Welcome as I hit buttons. I am your host to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host. Welcome. I was supposed to finish that sentence with welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, the Laddie Daddy, the Bet Detective, Scumbagger Vance, the man in the box. CJ Sullivan. How are we doing, C-generates? Welcome to a new month. It is June 3rd on Monday as I record live here from Eagle Rock, California, live on the West Coast at 12:30. That's the time I'm doing it. 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Whatever it is in the mountain, who knows? You guys fluctuate. I imagine it's 1:30. But mountain time zone. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Thank God. As teams have been eliminated from that time zone. Good show today. I'll talk a little. We got to talk about WNBA is the main story. Mainly everyone hating on Caitlin. Or the white bitch from Indiana, as Pat McAfee called her today. That'll go over fine. Anyway, we'll talk some WNBA, some Bully Bobs. I'll even give out some WNBA plays. I like this WNBA market. It's fun. But also we have the Stanley Cup coming. That doesn't come out till end of July, it seems like. No, it starts on Saturday. The NBA Finals doesn't start till Thursday. So we'll do a little preview of that, not too deep. Maybe some MVP markets that I don't want to get into. And then on Thursday's show, we'll get deeper into the actual plays and whatnot. But for now, we are here. And, of course, I have a man in the box segment about, well, there's a lot of things we could talk about. Things keep popping around. Well, I'll talk about some of these broadcasters that are just going crazy on a man in the box once we get there. But first, let's talk about the weekend. Now, my plays I gave out on Thursday did not come out too well. Sad to see my Dallas Stars eliminated from the Stanley Cup. Edmonton, congratulations. Connor McDavid, all that. I love the people in Edmonton, though. Canada with a cup team. I say, and not that they were my Dallas Stars, but I had a ticket on them to win the cup, so I was disappointed. That was my big future, was Dallas. And they were there. They're up 2-1, and then they decided to stop playing. Actually, Edmonton's defense. They did play great. They played great last night, but they just couldn't score, which is bizarre because Edmonton usually gives up a lot. But whatever. We'll get into the future of that and as we move on. Yesterday was a fun day for me. So this weekend at C-Generates, I told you I told you before that I also, but besides hosting the Bottom Line Bombs here, I also do stand-up comedy occasionally some other gigs and whatnot. And one of the writing gigs that I've always had for a while, it's on and off. Me and my partner, Sean Flannery, who I do the Blackout Diaries podcast, which you should also be subscribed to, which is a drinking storytelling show, Blackout Diaries. Fun show. We used to do a sports show as well called The Business Locker Room. Anyway, long story short, we write for Robert Smigel a lot. Robert Smigel of Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, Ace and Gary, the ambiguously gay duo. He's a brilliant writer. He's hilarious. But also of the Superfan sketch on Saturday Night Live. You know, da bears, that fucking thing. Which is a very popular sketch. So popular that it's lived on forever, where he gets gigs for it. You know, he'll get like, hey, let's go to this car dealership or whatever it is, a charity event, some kind of thing where they'll still hire, especially in the Chicago area, they'll hire him to do some Superfan sketch, and he's the mastermind of it, and he writes it. So he'll help. You know, he doesn't want to write all those things, so he hires me and Sean, and we've been writing for him for a while, off and on, like just whatever. Usually for the sketch. I mean, for other stuff too, but whatever. Then, you know, so usually him and George went since Chris Farley died. But this weekend was the big charity event in Kansas City. Wonder if JC from KC was there. Huge event called the Big Slick. Is that what it's called? Hosted by Rob Riggle and Paul Rudd. You know, all those Kansas City Big Slick. Big Slick. All those Kansas City celebrities, you know. Eric Stone Street, all those guys. It's like its 15th year. It's gotten really big. Started out like as a poker tournament. Now it's like in an arena. And anyway, it's a huge show now. Sheryl Crow was singing. They have comedy, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let me fast forward to Robert Smigel got a slot in it to do the Superfan sketch and to make fun of some Chiefs. We're going to have Patrick Mahomes in the sketch, Travis Kelce. Originally, it was going to be Andy Reid, but he had to get out for some reason, which is a shame because we had a bunch of Andy Reid jokes written, and then we had to turn them into Mahomes jokes, which aren't as funny. Anyway, Mahomes is a pro. Kelce, you knew Kelce was going to ham it up. He was a wild card. We had to keep him in under wraps, you know? So it's kind of like a roast, you know, because they is just roasting celebrities and stuff like that. So anyway, we wrote some jokes, and apparently the sketch went over very well. It was very long. There's a YouTube link to it. If you look, Big Slick, KC, Superfans. It's like 17 minutes long. Went pretty long. We were supposed to only do 5 minutes. We did 17. Oh, well. Reports from there said it was great. My buddy Kumail Nanjiani, who you might know, who is a superhero. He was doing stand-up that night there. He texted me. He said, yeah, oh, my God, your sketch was amazing. I'm just bumping the Smigel. Whatever. Shout out to Kumail, who knows nothing about sports. But anyway, he's getting high with Kelce and doing selfies with Mahomes. Good for him. Anyway, so the sketches went well, and some of the jokes that there was kind of an articles about it on People the next day because obviously we're going to talk about Taylor Swift, and one of my jokes, well, you know, I don't know if it went viral, but, you know, it got out there. It got some heat, you know. I'll tell you, the joke was, and Jason Sudeikis played the role of Chris Farley, by the way. They acted like Chris Farley wasn't dead. He just went away and took a bunch of Ozempic, and he's back. That's how we played it. So Sudeikis came out like a quadruple XL jersey. Anyway, hilarity ensued. Sudeikis is great. And all of them are great. Even Kelce. Anyway, Sudeikis is like, so the line was that I gave him was, hey, Travis, when are you going to make an honest woman out of Taylor Swift? You know, when are you going to make an honest woman out of her? She doesn't need to be working anymore. And I know your kicker agrees with me. You know, whatever. Solid joke, I think. Anyway, it got out there. People like the joke. But then, anytime you mention Taylor Swift, the Swifties or the Swiffers or the Swift Daddies, you know, they come a running. They come a buzzing. And they did. And then if you look under the comments under this one tweet, I mean, there's all these Swifties and they're fucking ripping on Sudeikis, which is kind of amazing. Usually when you write for a show, obviously when you write for anything, you're not going to get credit. I talked about this after the Tom Brady roast. The writers aren't going to get any credit. It's weird how people think these guys thought of it. Now, with Sudeikis, I can understand. He's a comic. He can, you know. And I'm not saying, hey, I wrote that thing, you know, to give me credit. I don't want. This is the one time where I don't want credit Because then all the Swifties are coming after Sudeikis. Like, fuck Ted Lasso. I thought he was good. You're going to say you make an honest woman out of Taylor. She doesn't need him. She makes more money. We know. That's the joke. The whole point of the joke is how antiquated the sentence is and the whole feminist thing. And oh, my God. So that was kind of fun. So I had two missions when I wrote that joke. One, to raise a bunch of money for charity, which I did. Two was to get Ted Lasso viciously attacked online and canceled by a bunch of 12-year-old Swiffers. Mission accomplished over here, baby. Anyway. So that's the perfect way to do it, I think. So you got Kramer over here attacking Caitlin Clark last week, calling her a non-athlete, and then you got them coming after him. You gotta pawn it off to like a Noah or somebody. That's what I'm saying. Have someone else say your lines. And then they get all the heat. And you get all the nothing. You get all the satisfaction is what you get. Anyway. So that was a fun day yesterday. And I put it out there yesterday. So just wanted to mention that. Before I get to I forgot to talk about the NBA Finals. Because the NBA Finals is here. So tip off the week, we're giving away $100 cash and a $100 gift card to the listener who wins our NBA Finals prop contest. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals to enter. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals. All right, we're back. Yeah, so that is some of the elements of the show, and apparently the whole thing, they raised a bunch of fucking money. Mahomes tossing footballs around. We'll get to the Caitlin Clark thing now. That was actually a package that Sudeikis gave her because he's a big Caitlin Clark fan. He was at all the Iowa games, wearing the Iowa fucking jerseys, even though he's from Kansas City, and he always affiliated with Kansas City. But then he sold out for Caitlin Clark. And one of his auction packages, I believe, was to tickets to see Caitlin Clark play in New York. Fly in New York tomorrow. It was like tomorrow, too. It was like a Sunday game. The one she scored 3 points in last night, and they lost by like 50. Imagine paying like $30,000 for that package. Yeah, thanks. This was great. I came out here for this WNBA game, which I didn't even know I liked, but I felt guilty into doing it because you called us all sexist on the microphone. So now I saw this phenom score 3 points. Fun. Anyway. But Caitlin Clark is the story over the weekend. Old-fashioned football. Welcome to the chat room. That's my man J Mark, who we do a UFL show. You guys can listen in after this. UFL show live with J Mark and Pix Dundee and myself. Steve Elridge getting hyped to see the Bet Detective take on the Swifties. Listen, these Swifties are ferocious. Before I get into the Caitlin Clark, and I recapped my Swiftie thing, I talked about it. That's why I put on the joke off on Sudeikis. They are vicious. These 12-year-olds, they will run over your town. That's why there's all that crime in Kansas City, because they let their town get ran over by Swifties or Swiffers or Swift daddies. You can't say, I mean, you even mentioned Billie Eilish. Don't fucking rip your throat out. I'm terrified of these guys. Ronnie Pasco, welcome. But anyway, that's why I don't even want to, I'm done talking about it. I'm done talking about the Taylor Swift. But let's get into, as J Mark says, the heart Iowa ready to revolt. Caitlin Clark. This is amazing. Now, over the weekend, they played their rivals, the Chicago Sky, with the Bullies Angel Reese and a new one, Shamedy Carter, or whatever the fucking no one knew who was until she beat the fuck out of Caitlin Clark. Now, Caitlin Clark's been getting hard fouls. Refs have not been calling it. Now, a lot of people are getting hard fouls. It's the WNBA. I get it, but and it's funny. It's funny that the defense of it. They keep changing the things. Like, they don't hate each other. They love each other. You just don't understand competition, and that's how the women compete. And you guys aren't giving the same standards as men. And then Saturday happens where that wasn't a foul at all. She just went up and fucking cheap shot her and knocked her down. They're like, well, that's how the league's always been. Okay, now that's your new argument? Yeah, look at the league argument. We used to be fucking terrible. We're getting melees. Great. That's not helping you. We're trying to avoid this. People are finally watching you. Then you get a lot of that too. People are mad about that. If you're new to the WNBA, I don't want to hear your take. Yeah, a lot of people are new to WNBA. We're sorry. No one wanted to talk about this fucking shit before. So anyway, she got crushed. And people, and the women hate her. And it's fine that they do. That's my point about it. I don't know why they go out of their way to say they don't hate her. If I was Angel Reese, and I'd lean right into it. Yeah, I hate Caitlin Clark. Why? Because fuck Caitlin Clark. That's why. That's all you have to say. And that'd be totally understandable. We get it. I would get it. Yeah, we're sick of hearing about her and how she's the best thing, and all of us are good too. I get that. And of course, the racial overtime. This is my argument against people like her, because Caitlin Clark, because she's white. And what did the girl from lady from the View say? She has white privilege and hot, like, good, attractive privilege, which, whatever you want to say about attractiveness, but being straight, that's different. Her being straight is different when you're talking about WNBA players, because half the league fucks each other and the other half hates each other. Of course, they hate each other. They're all in and out of relationships with each other. That's what makes the drama. But my argument against that is, I think people like Caitlin Clark, because the way she plays, not only is she great, but the way she plays is more pleasing to watch, like the Seth Curry style of three balls and stuff. But Kelsey Plum is an attractive white woman who's straight and who was very good in college. So good, she had the record for most points ever in college basketball history until Caitlin Clark broke it. No one gave a shit. No one cared at all about Kelsey Plum. We like her now a little bit because more of the attention, but she's still not a star like Caitlin Clark. Although she's producing these Darren Waller videos. That's Kelsey Plum and Darren Waller were married, and they recently got divorced. They were married for a year and got divorced. And Darren Waller is. I don't want to pile on Darren Waller if you haven't seen his music videos. They are awful. They're hilarious. I mean, he's got divorced. It's rough, so I'm not going to pile on there. But come on, he's got to have a buddy who says, "Darren, woo, hey, let's keep this under wraps, huh?" Anyway, so yeah, the women hate her, and that's what women do. They hate each other. It's fine. The Pistons hated Michael Jordan. Everyone hates the Stars because fuck them. What I find funny is, and here's where we're hypocritical when it comes to the fandom of women's sports. Surprise, surprise. Shocker. Let me mansplain why we are hypocritical with that. In men's basketball, like the NBA, our complaints are that they're too friendly with each other. We miss the days when they didn't like each other. We're like, fuck, man, they don't care. They're all friends. They're all hanging out. They're all rich. They don't want to go after each other's throat. That's what upsets us. We don't like when they go on a banana boat in Cancun after getting eliminated together and, and fucking have, and they don't want to, we feel like they don't want to be each other. But with women, we're the opposite. We're like, whoa, why don't you girls like each other? What's going on? You should be happy for Caitlin. Rise each other up, woman. Come on. She's getting you good airplanes. She's getting you late checkouts out of hotels. You should be thanking Caitlin. No, they should fucking hate her. That's fine. Now, you can't do these cheap shots and shit like that. I mean, it is crazy the way they are not calling any of these stuffs and how no one fights for her. No one fucking, there's no suspension. How about the breaking news? It got upgraded to a flagrant one. Oh, did it? Great. What was it called on the game? Oh, just an away from the ball foul. She ran up to her, called her a bitch, and shoved her through the fucking throat row. How is that not what's a technical in this league? My Lord. Swifties and WNBA, those are two terrifying leagues of women. My God. They play rough. It's kind of great, though. They should crank it up more if this is what it's going to be. But I want them to go after everyone. Come on now. Let's be fair. Although Angel Reese got tossed around the other day. She's like, that's what happens. But at least it was. I like how that's our defense, too. At least make it somewhat a basketball play. Have a little panache, ladies. You know what I mean? When the men do a cheap shot, we act like we're going for a rebound, but we throw an elbow to the fucking nose, or Draymond Green and kick you in the ball 6 different times. Just do a well-timed kick to the ovaries. Now you got Shannon Carter. Man. And that was the thing, too. It's so obvious. They can't even argue that they don't hate him anymore. That was their defense. Like, no, they're friends after. Don't you listen to her? Yeah, I listen to her lie. Women lie. They lie a lot. Men do too, but eventually we laugh and like, you got us. They never do that. Women never do that. Women will just eventually get to an argument where it's against you, where you're wrong, and then they'll pounce on that instead of admitting they're wrong. But this is gonna get problematic. I can tell. I can see why McAfee's in trouble already. Woo! Anyway, Black Twitter, by the way. Speaking of problematic, they're not problematic. They're hilarious. They can get away with stuff. Black Twitter was pretty funny with their Shannon Carter checks. I go, I'll tell you how you stop all this. You start fining them $50 a pop. This shit'll stop real quick. $50 fine. If you see some of these fines, and they are insane. Like Angel Reese got fined $1,000, which is pretty high for the WNBA for not going to the press afterwards. They don't care if you beat the shit out of Caitlin Clark, but you better go to the press conference and have some funny quotes for us. God, are they ornery? My Lord. Let me do a read. I'm getting out of it. Then I'll come back and finish off Black Twitter. Finish off Black Twitter. Finish off the comment, the best tweets from there. Anyway, because I got to talk about Underdog Fantasy first. The NBA playoffs are here, and our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting. Well, I got to put up a banner. That's what I got to do. I can't just read and you guys have staring at me. I got to do this. There you go. It's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Play their pick'em games is simple, selecting higher or lower and player stats like points, rebounds, assists, and so much more. Make entries of basketball or mix or match across your favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money. It's tons of fun. Underdog is available in 30-plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. Pull up UnderdogFantasy.com. Oh, that was to me. I just Ron Burgundy that. I'll pull it up and give you a play. Use the promo code BOMBS. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS, and you get a first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdog Fantasy, promo code BOMBS. All right. Should I pull one up right now? Might as well. Then we'll get back into some Caitlin. It always kills some good time, right? Kill some time. I had Caitlin Clark under yesterday, actually, which hit, but I did not pair it with anything good. That happens. You got to pair it. All right. Let's see here. Let's pull it up. There it is. No, here it is. I got to remove this, and there we are. All right, Underdog Fantasy. Let's do some lady plays, huh, ladies? Very unladylike, these WNBAers. I'll tell you that much. You know, I do the lady joke. Well, I'll explain it after I do this. Let's see here. Let's go to DeJounte Carrington. I'm just gonna fade the whites because I feel like that's what's going on out here in the WNBA. They are really just going after the whites. So your Courtney Vandersloots will go lower than 8.5 points for Courtney Vandersloot because New York Liberty are playing at Chicago Sky. And Chicago Sky openly hate white women. So we'll take lower 8.5 points for Courtney. Courtney, you might as well be a Karen coming in tomorrow night. You don't stand a chance, sister. All right. And then we'll pair that up with, let's see. How about a Shakira Austin? I like her a lot. Higher than 11.5 points at Washington. They've been putting up points at Connecticut, so we'll do that. That's 3-1. 25 on that to win 75, and we'll be back. We'll be back in the winning ways with Shakira, higher than 11.5 points. And Courtney Vandersloot, you might as well call yourself Karen, lower than 8.5 points. You are the wrong gal to be showing up to this week in Chicago. All right. We're back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the man in the box, the bet detective, the laddie daddy. Serial, welcome to the chat room. He wants to know what the over-under is on Gabe Stevenson snaps, the Olympian who the Buffalo Bills signed. Yeah, he will never play. He will never play. That's just an absolute. We'll get into that. That's a promo. That's a fucking media stint, PR stint, or whatever. Get their fan base all walked over. Olympic hero. Who doesn't want to root on for an Olympic hero? But yeah, he's never played football before. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, we'll get into that. Let me wrap up some Caitlin's and give you some WNBA bombs. So it is tough. If you are playing the WNBA, I'll get into it now. And there are 3 games tomorrow. Now, we have a whole week, like we said, between hockey and the NBA. So we have a whole week. So tomorrow, there's 3 WNBA plays. Lady Bombs. And I call them Lady Bombs because I don't know why they do it. But like the college women's basketball, they call it like the Lady Hawkeyes versus the Lady Volunteers. And it's on their uniform. Like, why did they put that? Why don't they just call themselves, the women's basketball team or whatever? It just seems weird. The Lady Bulldogs, huh? The Lady Minutemen. How about the Minute Women? No? Is that another thing? Anyway. So you got to be careful. So there's 3 games. We're going to give out a couple bombs here. Let's get right into that New York Liberty Chicago Sky game. The line is 7. New York Liberty is very good. Chicago Sky, been surprising. They have Angel Reese. They have the big Brazil. Remember that guy called her the big Brazilian? God, I thought that was fucking insane. Giant Brazilian.
On us. Selection Sunday is only a few days away, and we even have teams that have won their conference tournaments and have automatic bids. But if I'm being honest, I'm more excited for the women's tournament. I'm ready for Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and the giant Brazilian woman from South Carolina that knocks people over. Forget the guys. Where are the women? I'm ready. On JR.
Oh, my God. I still can't believe he said that. It's so funny. These men, including myself, have no idea how to talk about these women's sports. That's the excitement for me. Is it great that there's more eyeballs on the WNBA now? I guess. Whatever. Makes the market fun. But what I find fun about it is seeing all these idiot men who don't know how to cover the sport and are suddenly being forced to completely fuck up and put their foot in their mouths. Pat McAfee called Caitlin Clark that white bitch from Indiana today. What? I don't know. He was trying to be cool about it. Like he's down. Yeah. All right. No, Pat. No, when you have that frat guy personality, you can't just say, yeah, that bitch is her. No. Can't say that. Give that bitch from Indiana like you're ordering her a Jaeger bomb.
It ain't gonna work, buddy.
That's right, Kim Mulkey. And you can't say giant Brazilian that knocks people over with.
It ain't gonna work, buddy.
Again, Mulkey, you're on it. You're on top of it. Anyway, so I want to give out some WNBA bombs in honor of all this. Tuesday's games. Tuesday, June 4th. Now, you watch them if you will. Be careful, though. They're not like other sports or basketball that you're used to. Like, oh, my God, you'll see an air ball or 3. You'll see missed layups and things like that. And also very good basketball. Very clean, executed picks and things like that and fundamentals and very skilled, but also very not skilled, too. And it happens a lot. So my first advice is not to watch, not to sweat it. Don't watch it all. Just take in the results. Speaking of Black Twitter, someone tweeted yesterday, I think it was probably that game. He said, "This man, my first time betting on WNBA. Now he said, now I know why them hoes make $20 an hour." I mean, come on. That's rough. But it's pretty funny. $20 an hour is just hilarious. Talking about their money is just pretty funny, even though they make a lot more through other things. Anyway, let's get into it. New York Liberty, -7, Chicago Sky. Chicago Sky won in New York. And that's when Angel Reese tweeted out, "We got a packed stadium, not one girl shooting like 0 for 10 for 3 or whatever." She tweeted obviously about Caitlin Clark, then deleted it. Which, whoa, in the women world, you know how they are, cat fights. It's just so funny how we're reporting on these women. Yeah, they're fighting, they're catty fighting on Instagram. That being said, New York's good. Chicago's doing better than expected, but revenge game, loving the Liberty coming in. Take New York -7, bomb it. Because they did talk shit. And who knows? Although her and Chennedy Carter. Chennedy Carter cheap shot Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese jumps up like she's a tag team partner in wrestling, like from the bench. Yeah, cheer. Just fucking cheering these cheap shots. It's so funny. I said, let's do it. Make it like slap shot hockey. Make it like 70s hockey. Just fucking brawl out there. Who cares? Although you can imagine if Caitlin Clark got hurt on that cheap shot. Oh, God. Twitter would have been unbearable. Twitter. Everything. I mean, there would have been death threats. Or we would have not gone to caring. Immediately, everyone gets on bus rides now. Back to the bus, ladies. Thanks. Thanks for twisting her ankle, you idiot. Anyway, New York -7. We're going to take it on the revenge game. The other one is Washington Mystics, Connecticut Sun. I don't really like that as much. The other one I do like, Seattle Storm versus the Phoenix Mercury. I like the Seattle Storm team. They crushed the Fever the other day. The other night. Fever's also got a lot of people hurt. A lot of ladies hurt. But give me the Lady Storm. Seattle, -7. What are all the lines? 7? No. Liberty -7, Lady Storm, and Lady Liberty. How does New York not called Lady Liberty? It was right there for them. My God. Everything else is Lady something in college. Then you finally, and you have the one name where Lady would make sense. Either Lady Liberty or Lady Luck would be the other one. If there's a team called Luck, which yes, you don't want to be called lucky as a team. I mean, you want to be lucky, but you don't want to call yourself lucky. You want to call yourself skilled. But Jesus, New York, Lady Liberty, right there for you. Anyway, so good luck with those two WNBA bobs. When we come back, let me do a read, and then we'll talk a little NBA Finals with the men. Apparently the men play basketball as well in a little NHL Stanley Cup. And then, of course, a man in a box. But for now, let me tell you about rhythm. This is the rhythm of my read. Ad reads. This is the rhythm of my reads. If you're betting on NBA player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm gives you a menu of the best player props for every single NBA playoff game, making it easy to go through and find the best props to put your money on in seconds. Rhythm's predictions are based on over 3 years of data and team data scientists and quants that focus on tuning our algorithm to give you the best shot at winning. Rhythm pairs its predictions with player prop graphs to help feel even more confident in your picks, which you can make whenever you normally place your bets or DFS picks, from superstars to bench players. Rhythm finds the best player prop lines, all backed by AI data, without you needing to endlessly scroll the sportsbook. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're back on the Bottom Line Bombs. I'm your host, CJ Sullivan, the bet detective, scumbagger Vince, the buddy daddy, the man in the box, dropping bombs. Whoo, yep, get that rhythm. I have the rhythm. I look for player props. They have quants and a lot of data. They have WNBA in there. I don't know if they put in any kind of data sharing as far as algorithms of hatred of white women. That's the thing with this Kayla Clark story too. And especially this Monday, like on ESPN, they could not wait for Monday to happen because every one of their shows, because they love talking race, whatever. But they love talking how no one's talking about race. And meanwhile, they're doing it. And no one wants to talk about it. Let's just put it out there as it is. What? No one wants to say that's a racial thing. But she's there because she's white. But they don't hate her because she's white. No, they hate her because she's a rookie. Come on, rookie. You don't want to baby her. All right. Can all of it be true? Hilarious. Feach says, have I seen their mascot? Ellie the elephant does a catwalk before every game. No, kind of funny. Have not. I would love to see that. DJ Ronnie Pasco says, Bob Lee used to call Rebecca Lobo a white bitch back in the day. I don't see why McAfee can't say. That's a good point. Bob Lee would drop a white bitch. Rebecca Lobo was the OG white bee. The classy Bob Lee. That's what makes that funny. Classy Bob Lee, the sports reporters. That's what you get with ESPN, by the way. Way back, kids. I'll bring you back way, kids, before we get into the NBA Finals and stuff like that. But the ESPN, the network, I know it's a network where people just scream opinions that they don't believe in, by the way. That they're just told what to say, or they're told, hey, take a side on this. Take the other side? Sure, whatever. But there was a time, actually, where ESPN covered sports. They would show the games. They'd recap the games. And they'd tell you about the sports. That's no longer what they do. It's a debate show. They embrace debate. Okay, fine. Can we debate about if we have to embrace full-on debate all the time? And they fired their journalists. They would do massive layoffs of actual journalists, like hundreds of them. And then they'd give, $100 million to Pat McAfee or Stephen A. Smith for personalities to scream things that they openly admit they don't believe in. They say, oh, these are just takes we do. It's called takes. It doesn't matter. None of it matters unless you're talking about them. And that's your whole goal. And they used to try to cling on to some kind of journalism. The Sports Reporters was a show. Outside the Lines, OTL. It used to be Saturday morning. Then it just got pushed into like a segment. Then it was like at 2:30 in the morning. And poor Bob Lee. Then it was like a 15-minute like infomercial sketch. Now Jeremy Schaap does it. So Bob Lee, the class act himself. The writing was on the wall. Him and Rebecca Lobo, that white bitch, had to go. Feach wants to know if Sabrina is a white bee who can handle her own. She is a handle, but she doesn't count. No, she's not American race. She's a Romanian. She definitely can handle her own, but you can't. American whites are just looked down upon differently when it comes to basketball. There is an ownership towards it. I'll say that. They don't like when others intrude on their sport, which I can get. Whites have taken a lot. Whites have illegally seized a lot of properties and cultures. So they're very protective of basketball. They don't want some fucking corn girl coming in here. You got to be committed. No, it's not that. It's just the hype around her, which I get why they don't like. I understand that. But Cameron Brink, now they like her because she's a tall glass of white water because black men love her. Because she's 6'4". She's a tall bee. Feet says he can sense some undertones when Dave Portnoy is tweeting about Caleb. There's no undertones. It is all fucking race. I mean, there's undertones. I mean, they're all saying it. They're saying the loud part or whatever that saying is. The quiet part out loud. They're saying it. Or the loud part quietly. That's what they're doing. They're all talking about. But like I said, there's a lot to it. It's a lot of layers. But the main layer is they hate each other. Women hate each other. Let's not beat around that bush too. Women hate other women. But they love each other when they're hating on other women. They like doing that. They like coming together for that. Anyway, let's get into men hating men, huh? Back in the way we used to do, back when I was growing up. Something I'm familiar with. When men hate men and there was just pure racism for that, and they were open about it. Like the Celtic fans, Boston fans, one of the most notoriously racist fan base, and they got Kyrie Irving coming to town. What a gift! What a racism gift coming into town. Mavericks, they actually starts Thursday. Right? Let's get into it. The series is Boston minus 215, Dallas plus 185. I don't want to get too into. Well, it's Thursday. I do like. I'm rooting for Dallas. Trust me, anyone but Boston. But I think Boston's kind of a cheap price here because of how good the Celtics played. That being said, the MVP market. Let's get into that. That's what I like to see. NBA Finals MVP. Now, Luka Doncic, obviously, what's he at? 2-1. Let me take a look at these numbers. He's obviously the favorite for Dallas side, and Tatum's the side for Boston. So let's look where we can make actual money. Hold on. There we go. NBA series. Bing, bing, bink. The NBA Finals MVP. All right. Tatum minus 115. Jesus Christ. Which isn't the worst way to play if you want to take the Celtics. Sometimes it's cheaper than paying the Celtics to take Tatum 115. I don't want to take that because Jaylen Brown at plus 650 just won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He just won it. Derek White, 33-1. This is all from Bet Online. Now, I like Derek White before, but that's before Porzingis is coming back. With Porzingis coming back, Derek White, he can get hot, but not hot enough to win an MVP, I don't think. Drew Holiday's interesting at 50-1. Just because you're going to have a narrative. Kristaps Porzingis at 35-1. People forget when he was in there, he was playing great. And he's makes them a completely different team. I mean, the Celtics did not look great sweeping and doing whatever they did, like only losing 2 games. They did not look great doing it. But Porzingis was hurt for most of it. With him coming back, they're a completely different team. They play differently. And they're going to be able to take Dallas's big men and stretch them out a lot. So Dallas isn't going to be able to do all those lobs and shit like they did. Now, Luka's going to get Luka. Luka's going to do what Luka does. But the 2 MVP plays I'd like to do, I'm going to do Porzingis at 35-1. Bomb that. because Tatum does like to choke. Jalen, and that gets spread. The Celtics are so good that it gets spread around so much that Porzingis can do something. And let's not forget, he used to play for the Mavericks. Him and Luka were supposed to be the duo. Now it's Luka and Kyrie. They're friends and blah, blah, blah. And he was Porzingis. He always got hurt. But he changed his game. He didn't like working. Now he works. But Kyrie Irving at 14-1. Some shops have him at 20-1. That's crazy talk for me. Let's bomb that. That's the two sides I want to play. I want to play Kyrie for Dallas and Porzingis for Boston. MVP. Plus, Kyrie's got the narrative, too. The whole, the redemption tour. They love talking about the Kyrie redemption tour. Oh, and first of all, Celtic fans have a right to be mad at Kyrie Irving. Not mad personally, but you know what I mean. You can boo him for crying out loud. You shouldn't throw a water bottle. Oh, but he stomped on the logo. That's ridiculous. I love the whole stomping on the logo as a sign of disrespect. You mean the logo that's in the middle of your court that everyone runs across during the game anyway? Where the opening tip-off is? Everyone stomps on the logo. Yeah, but he did it intentionally with disrespect. Ooh, like it's a fucking an American flag during the war. Don't let the flag touch the ground. No, not the drunken Irishman logo of the fucking leprechaun in a pipe and a monocle. Don't step on that. But he lied to us. Who gives a shit? What are you, children? Now I'm on Kyrie's side. I just talked myself into Kyrie. I was like, yeah, the Celtics have a right. He wasn't great for Boston. It took a year. They didn't really blend in. But then he left for Brooklyn. So he left for Brooklyn. A lot of people in their 20s leave Massachusetts for Brooklyn. And they do it for a lot less than $90 million or $150 million. They do it for an Arthur Anderson gig. Arthur Anderson in Chicago. But you know what I mean. I know. That's why I'm not getting too into it. Ronnie Pasco says it feels like the last NBA game was a month ago. Both teams, and then the hockey could be seize this opportunity now, but they're not playing till Saturday too. So dumb taking all this time off. There's killed any momentum they had of viewing, but whatever. Stretch it out. You know what? I don't care. Stretch it out. Delay this as long as we can before we have to start getting into the baseball daily grind. So the Porzingis revenge angle is interesting. The white on white action. A lot of racial tones being talked about today. So that's just a quick glimpse over it. We'll get into it on Thursday, the actual series plays, and with the hockey as well. But it should be a good series. Dallas a hot team, Boston the best team all year, the whole thing. And the Kyrie being Kyrie stepping on the logo, and he lied. Whatever. I will say they do kind of wash over some of his mistakes of the other stuff he did. And there's a false narrative too of the fucking vaccines. Like when he was proven right, how was he proven right? What are you talking about? He sabotaged Brooklyn too. That was the whole thing. He refused to get a vaccine, so he missed like half the games because he couldn't play in New York. Fucking live, Kyrie. That's the thing. You lie about everything else. You lie about believing in a flat earth. You don't believe in a flat earth. You think it's funny to say that shit. I don't even think you're anti-Semitic. But it's fun to do that in Brooklyn, I guess, where the only place you'll get protested for that is probably Brooklyn. You shared a video. Maybe you don't know better. I don't know. But you have no problem lying. You lied to the Celtics fans, said, hey, I want to re-sign with the Celtics. All right. And now I'm getting the fuck out of here. You had no problem lying. I'm not even mad at you do lie. I get why you lied. I wouldn't, if I was talking to an arena full of rabid, racist Celtic fans, you think you're going to tell them, yeah, this is just a 1-year stint for me, fellas. I'm just renting you guys to get my image to get the hell out of Cleveland. And then I wanted to use you guys and then go somewhere actually fun and interesting and a place that doesn't hate me, Brooklyn, New York. All right. Is that cool, guys? We want to finish out the season? No, of course he's going to lie and say he wants to play for the Celtics. My point is, you're fine doing those lies, and I agree you should have. Lie again about the vaccine. Did you take the vaccine? Yes. Yes, I did. Let me play basketball for the Nets now. They're not going to check. And even if they do check, have someone draw it up. The NBA wants you to fucking play. Brooklyn wants you to play. They're not doing that bullshit. You did it just to raise a stink about the vaccine. And then you lost half the season. And then the Jew thing didn't help. I'm not going to lie, Kyrie. Not good timing with the Jew thing. But now you settled in deep in the heart of Texas where there are no Jews. And they don't want the government propping you or pringing you with needles, with nothing. That'll be fun. When Dallas fans try to call Boston fans racist. Yeah, okay, Boston Celtic fans are racist. But you're Texas, don't forget. Just don't forget that. You're Texas. And now that your Dallas Stars are out, you could care less about them. Even the Mavericks. I know you guys like the Mavericks. I'm not saying you don't. But you're Cowboy fans. You're Dallas Cowboy fans. Everyone in Dallas is a Cowboy fan, first and foremost. 1 through 10, it goes 1 through 7 Cowboys. 8 Mavericks, 9 the Rangers, 10 the Stars. That's how Dallas was. Then Texas football and all that shit too. We're going to get Mark Cuban. I still don't understand Mark Cuban. Did he sell this team or not? I thought he sold this team. Now he's on the sideline still, hugging, celebrating. He's like that guy. He sells his house and he keeps coming back to see what you did with the kitchen. Get the fuck out of here, Cuban. We gave you money. Get out of here. I'm a little bitter that the Dallas Stars lost. But yeah, those Dallas fans, Star fans, woo, like a blackjack dealer wiping the hands. Woo, what was I thinking? You could drop that. That's a good thing about hockey. You can drop that with no emotional. Matter of fact, I want to wait for my hockey coverage. I'll just talk about the NBA. But I do say that when your team loses in hockey, I might as well go to the box. Pardon me. Welcome to the box. I am CJ Sullivan. I always say that when the great thing about hockey is you have a team, you ride them. If your team's in it, making a run, the playoff runs is very exciting. Like the Rangers, with all the Ranger fans went crazy, and I had a ticket for the Dallas Stars to win the cup, so I was following the Dallas Stars heavy. And then the second they lose, you can just wipe your hands clean, no emotional attachment. What like I always said, like having an affair. You wake up, you're like, whoa, what was I think? Jesus, I got a family I gotta get back to. Oh God. Hey, hockey, this has been real, but I'm gonna head out of here. You're not gonna tell football about this, are you? You're gonna be cool, right? All right. Well, maybe I'll call you next spring or something. So anyway, that'll be a good Stanley Cup, actually, Florida and Edmonton. But like I said, I'll talk about that on Thursday. Feach wants to know, since you've been touring Canada, is there a chance Edmonton riots like Vancouver in 2011? I don't know if they'll riot like Vancouver. First of all, people need to know, and Edmonton loves their Oilers, but Canada does not. Edmonton is not like Canada's team, or like, all right, Canada. Canada hates Edmonton. Everyone hates it. A lot of people don't like each other. Vancouver, I don't think Edmonton, no, they're drunk. They're fun. They get hammered. Edmonton people get hammered. They got the mall. They got oil money. They don't know what to do with it. They're showing it. There's the woman going viral who flashed her flashed her front porch, as it says, her cans after the one Oiler game. They're having fun. I don't think they will riot if they lose. I really don't. But there is a lot of pressure, obviously, for a Canadian team to win, and Edmonton himself, and Connor McDavid. But we'll get to that on Thursday. We're here in the box. Thank you, everyone. We'll do some quick plugging before we get to finish the box. Okay, so there was a down roll. I don't want to talk about that. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken, or on X at CJ Sullivan _. That's where you can find a lot of more of these hot takes and man in the box videos. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube video if you're not watching right on YouTube, so you can do the comments. Bottom line bombs. Subscribe to that. Like it. Hit the thumbs up. Get the algorithm going. Subscribe to the podcast. Bottom line bombs. Wherever pods are told. I need those subs and downloads. Today, I'll be doing the UFL show with J Mark, Old Fashioned Football. Make sure you subscribe to his podcast. That'll be after this, coming up soon. I now do a lacrosse show with the boys, Sean and Ryan, on Thursdays. That's kind of fun. We had a heater. We had a good opening weekend of that lacrosse league. I'm a lax bro now. That's fun. I swear to God, I had my setup on Saturday morning. I went main TV on a UFL game, the Battlehawks Brahmas, and on the left I had the fucking lacrosse league game of like Chaos versus the Utah Mountain Tippers or whatever. I mean, I'm like, what am I doing? I used to have a life before I came to this network. I'm full on to Jen, but it's fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of news with the people making with their takes, and I realized the hypocritical part of me talking about complaining about announcers getting takes. But one upset me over the weekend. It's Colin Cowherd, whatever. And I don't want to be just ripping on people who are more successful than me. But Colin Cowherd's pretty arrogant, and he has a lot of terrible takes. And he went viral this weekend for a quote unquote good take because he took down Trump. And that's all it takes. If you just take down Trump, they'll throw you up there like, oh, he gets it. He gets it. And Colin Cowherd had this long rant about how Trump, it was like a Bill Maher type take where he was just so disconnected. He's like, Trump's selling America. It doesn't exist. He's like, there's crime ridden. Where? I don't see crime. Me and my friends don't. We're not stepping over homeless people in our gated communities. Yeah, no shit, you're not. He's not talking to you. Then he goes, it's basically the felonies. They're so mad about the felonies. Maybe it's a crime you keep. All those people are felonies. So he does this whole thing about how Trump's bad, which everyone gets. And people are like sharing, like Patton Oswalt. People are being fooled. Everyone's being fooled by him because they don't know who he is and they don't listen to sports talk, which I understand. I'm not blaming them for that. It's like, oh, Colin Cowherd, look at this. What a grace. Finally, someone stands up and says it. Colin Cowherd is voting for Donald Trump. Don't be fooled. He voted for him before. He's amazing. He's a guy who defends networks and corporations all the time, which I don't understand. When your world is sports talk and you're trying to, I guess he doesn't care about the everyday man. I don't get it. But there's 100%, and people came out. I tweeted that at Pat. I was like, dude, he's voting for Trump. Don't be fooled. And I'm not even yelling at people who vote for Trump. I'm just saying, don't act like you're not, and then you are. They have no shame because they don't want to say this thing in public. That's what you want to say. Say your real thing in public. Like it's like my Spotify thing. Cowherd's rant against Trump is this Spotify playlist. It's who he wants people to think he is. It's not who he really is. Shazam. That's who you really are. Let me see your Shazam list. Let me see your voting record. That's who you are. When you get in a voting booth, that's your Shazam. Like, what is this song? Because you feel that. That's a fucking Hall & Oates song, motherfucker. You goddamn right. That's Tom Petty. Well, you always know Tom Petty. You don't need to Shazam a Tom Petty. I've always said that. You don't need a Shazam of Tom Petty. Whatever that means. Where is the thing to connect? Oh, there it is. Anyway, boy, are we already at an hour? We are at an hour. Jeez Louise. That was my man in the box about Colin Cowherd. That kind of sucked. That's a quiet. I exhausted myself. Normally, now I always feel like a comedy show. You want to end big. You want to end on a big closer. You know, I did a show on Saturday night in Santa Monica, and I had a great set, but my last joke was not good. And it kind of just died out. And I'm like, I kind of like this. Let's just leave it at a die. A lot of comics, they just keep going until they get the audience back so they can leave on a high note. Who cares? Just fucking get out of there. They're not going to remember your shit. You know? Not me. I'm in that moment. I tell them. I call it out. First of all, I bet the reason why that joke, whatever. I can look at the game tape all I want why that last joke didn't go well. And why this one kind of ran out of momentum. Because I'm thinking about going home, usually. Especially if I'm in Santa Monica. I'm like, God damn, I can't wait to drive home. I can't wait to drive home. I can't wait to go home when I'm already at home. You know what I mean? Like, you ever be at home having to go out? You're like, God, I can't wait to come home. And you're already, like, I'm already there. I can just stay here. But that's not, you can't do that. You can't just stay home. Coming home is not the same if you just stay home. Then it gets bad. Then people will come looking for you. And when they do it, well, if they do a check on you, see, that's how you avoid people. You can't avoid people by avoiding people completely. You have to go out there, show a little effort, see some people so they don't come looking for you. You don't want people coming after you. Say, are you all right? Yeah, I'm fucking. Well, we haven't seen you. I know. So, man, I can't wait to go home when I'm at home. And that's how you close out a set. All right, degenerates, thank you, everybody who came in the chat room. That's going to do it for today's show. I will see you Thursday. Good luck with the Lady Bombs and some MVPs. But other than that, you're going to hear my theme song, and then you're going to hear a little Tom Petty. Maybe I'll play Tom Petty since I mentioned him afterwards on the audio version. Thanks, guys.